Updated November 10, 2017. 160,156 Mount Isa Mines says a super pit is not viable for the northwest Queensland mining town, following an LNP election commitment to fund a $5 million feasibility study to consider the project. Earlier in the week, Shadow Natural Resources and Mines Minister Andrew Cripps said if elected his government would commit $5 million to a feasibility study for the remote mining town to investigate the potential of building a large open-cut mine. This study is about planning for the future and creating jobs for the Mount Isa community, Mr. Cripps said in a statement. A future super pit will increase regional Queensland's resource capability, drive more investment and deliver more jobs in the local community. But in a statement to the ABC, Mount Isa Mines said the super pit was not viable. Extensive study work into the feasibility of the Mount Isa open pit MIOP has demonstrated that the project is not viable, the statement read. Our team in Mount Isa continues to thoroughly assess all opportunities to add value to our mining and processing operations. Despite the lack of enthusiasm from Glencore, Mr. Cripps stands by the plan. Glencore has previously indicated that there's potential for the super pit project, Mr. Cripps said. We're open-minded, he said. Super pit, a cooler option. Associate Professor Mehmet Kizil from University of Queensland's School of Mechanical and Mining Engineering has been working in the mining industry for more than 3 decades. He said while he wasn't familiar with the feasibility of a super pit in Mount Isa, generally large open-cut mines were better than underground mines. If you can economically mine it, you have the capital to invest in large equipment, you can have a large capacity mine, and you can sell the project. A super pit is always better than an underground if it's feasible, he said. You're working in an open area rather than underground, you can use large equipment, it's safe. You have all of the open spaces. Professor Kizil said unlike other mines around the world, Mount Isa also has to deal with an incredibly high gradient rock temperature. Mount Isa will pick up more heat as you go deeper than any other place around Australia or even the world, he said. On average you pick up 1 degree Celsius extra heat in the rock temperature as you go down 100 meters, so if you go 1,000 meters underground you pick up 10 degrees, but in Mount Isa it's double that. And Professor Kizil said if a super pit was a viable option for Mount Isa, the heat issue would be removed. If we assume the feasibility study proves we can turn the underground mine deposit into a super pit economically, then there will be no heat issue, no ventilation issue, no dust issue, no cooling issues and much higher production rates. But Professor Kizil said the discrepancy in views between politics and the private company on the viability of a super pit may be influenced by a lack of immediate return in investment. It could be to do with the high capital investment up from the super pit, he said. Initially you may have to remove a lot of waste before you get to the deposit, so you may not be making a profit for a few years and the company may not be willing to do that. Feasibility aside, the professor said extending the life of the mine is an important move for the remote town. Mount Isa Mines are a historical mine, and if we can keep the mine going for longer, we should keep it going for the benefit of the community and the country. Topics: mining industry, government and politics, political parties, mining rural, Mount Isa 4,825 first posted November 10, 2017 145,148.